Hello, and welcome to another Office Hours capsule. That's right, a small section of my Office Hours live stream you can catch live on twitch.tv/TheAstroPub, youtube.com/TheAstroPub, live on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'd love to have you come down and join the chat here as we talk about Star Citizen lore, news, and more every week. Today, we're going to be looking at what is effectively CIG's new update system, a version of their update system called the Comms Dive. But we're going to look a little bit deeper than that with some other things of talk about the sort of things that CIG is working on to improve and add to the game in the short term. There's a lot of cool stuff that's been coming out with just devs talking, and of course, 4.0.2 around the corner. So I think of this as a little update on how this year is going so far, with the drive towards fixing the game first and then adding features second. And we'll talk a little bit about that at the end as well, so to kind of clarify from what we've heard about from other developers. With that, let's get started by reading the Comms Dive from February 10th, 2025. All right. Hi, everyone. Last November, we released our first Star Citizen Comms Dive to tackle some of your most pressing questions. Your feedback made it clear how much this initiative matters to you. So we're excited to bring back the SCCD number 2 with more to follow. If you're new to this, SCCD is an initiative on Spectrum where we round up the topics discussed and chase down information and updates directly from the development team. If you missed the first one, you can still check out SCCD number 1 on Spectrum. While we may not be able to respond to every comment or thread, rest assured we are absorbing everything and chasing answers. Your engagement is what makes this project special, and Comms Dive is another way for us to acknowledge the importance of your discussions and keep the information flowing. Thank you for your incredible energy you bring to the community. As always, we truly appreciate your feedback. Let's get into some key topics. Quantum fuel values. The quantum fuel capacity of ships has been carefully determined based on the size groupings and archetype classifications we use internally. Each ship falls into the following categories: snub, light, medium, heavy, dropship, gunboat, corvette, or frigate. For the most part, quantum fuel capacity remains consistent across ships within the same size group. However, there are a few notable exceptions where additional considerations may come into play. Exploration ships. Ships with an exploration role receive additional quantum fuel capacity on top of their archetype baseline, ensuring they can tackle long-range journeys. Special purpose ships. Cargo haulers, miners, and other specialized ships are still grouped by size but may have extended fuel capacity to better suit their roles. These are often adjusted on a case-by-case basis. Component variations. Some ships might physically align with one size group, but feature components typically found in another. This can sometimes make their quantum fuel economy appear slightly unexpected, but remains balanced within the design context. As Star Citizen evolves and expands, introducing new systems, mission types, and customization, fuel balance will continue to be a work in progress. Long-range travel demands will scale alongside the game, and we're committed to adapting as needed. Your input is invaluable in this process. We're always monitoring, and if we identify that a ship's quantum fuel capacity needs an adjustment, we'll review and refine it accordingly. We've also increased the quantum fuel tank sizes for all ships in the recent 4.0 PTU patch. Okay. Hey, realistic audio progress update. To deliver more seamless and realistic audio experiences, we've had to improve how we structure our sound mixing. This process is mostly complete, though a few edge cases still remain and still need attention. The demo we presented at CitizenCon 2953 showcased isolated test cases that had been reworked specifically for that feature. Now we need to apply this work to the game as a whole, which, as you can imagine, is a significant task, but one we're excited about. While we can't confirm a date, we're just as eager to get this work fully integrated into the game as many of you are. It's on good track so far, and we'll share more with you as we progress through the development. Volt Weapons Progress Update. Hi, Volt Guy. Hi, Volt Guy. Volt Weapons bring a fresh, new manufacturer aesthetic to the Star Citizen universe, something we don't get to introduce often. This series will also debut a new damage and ammo types, expanding combat options in new, fun ways. There's a lot of lore for Volt too. They're kind of a cheap version of energy weapons. They're designed as very cost-effective use weapon. So you see a lot of them in the kind of the frontier. We're happy to share that we're getting close to releasing the full lineup of Volt weapons in the PU. With most of the features work for the new ammo and damage types wrapping up, our weapon artists are taking early 2025 to add the final polish to each asset. We're targeting a Q2 rollout with regular releases to follow. Pretty ballsy, I think, to say that, but all right, so June, okay. This marks the beginning of the more consistent stream of weapon content as the weapon team wraps up their work on Squadron 42 and shifts their focus towards expanding Star Citizen's arsenal. Ooh, lots of Volt stuff. Volt Rifle. We first showcased an early version of this weapon in CitizenCon 2953. And while it's evolved since then, its core function remains the same, starting out as a traditional assault rifle before transitioning into a powerful beam weapon. For a bit of fun dev insight, one of the challenges we're tackling is how the weapon handles recoil when switching from projectiles to beam. Right now, it shifts between two separate recoil records, which isn't something our current tech supports. To fix this, we're improving the system to allow for a smooth transition, shifting from the sharp, punchy recoil of an assault rifle to the controlled precision of a focused beam. So it's going to be like you fire and it's just like da 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 da, and as it kind of gets, as it ekes up, it goes into a straight stream, and then instead of having to like hold back with the recoil, you can kind of just hold it and it'll just beam. I guess it'll just overheat at that point. Volt Shotgun. This one's a blast. Literally. As it heats up, it fires more pellets, making it an absolute menace to extended firefights. With a large mag size and solid heat detention, it's shaping up to be one of the scariest shotguns in the verse. But beware, push it too far, and you might find yourself struggling at the start compared to more traditional options. Oh, and the sound? Right now, it practically rips a hole into space itself when fired. It's incredibly meaty. Every shot feels like pure devastation. Some crazy Unreal weapons. That's fine. That's good. Unreal Tournament. Some Quake weaponry. Volt Sniper. A terrifying fusion of the Scalpel and AO3. The Volt Sniper cracks up its RPM as it heats up, making a high-risk, high-reward beast. Mastering its recoil and heat management will separate the deadly from the doomed. Those who can handle it will dominate. And if its mechanics don't intimidate your enemies, its sheer size will. The thing is an absolute unit, easily the most imposing sniper in our arsenal. Just spotting one aimed in your direction should be enough to make anyone think twice. Volt Pistol. The Volt Pistol is rapid fire and RPM increases to the longer you fire it, to account for firing for extended periods. It has a large battery for a weapon its size, giving you the opportunity to use it in a less powerful state for long periods, or run it hot to give some nasty rapid fire surprise. Yeah, Volt guy had a lot of fun. Ooh, this is another good one. Vehicles and Freight Elevator Progress Update. The team is prioritizing improvements related to vehicles on freight elevators. But first, the focus is on improving the quality of life aspects of freight elevators to make them more user-friendly, such as enabling mining bags to be sold directly from the warehouse, and the commodity redistribution feature, which will allow players to split and merge boxes more easily. Neat. So we're not going to see vehicles for a bit. They're still working on making the current cargo system a little bit more flexible, which seems nice. I'd much prefer that than vehicles right now, honestly. I know a lot of people are looking for vehicles, but right now the fix is pretty simple. You call up a vehicle first into a pad, and then you drive it off to the side, and you call up your main vehicle. I know it can be a little buggy at times, but it's a simple workaround. It's once they get everything working out. So, follow up on the full screen mode. The mouse confinement with multiple monitors has been fixed. The mouse was moving onto other screens briefly before. The engine now fully supports playing the game in any aspect ratio on any monitor in full screen mode. This means it's possible to play with widescreen aspect ratio and 16:9 monitor if desired, i.e. with black bars at the top and bottom. Interesting. Capital letters with accents. We're working on replacing the 2D text renderer, and its replacement should handle accents in ligatures better than it currently does. We'll let you know when we have more news on it. We look forward to your continued participation in Spectrum. Keep an eye on Dev Tracker to follow the most recent comments from our team, and watch Star Citizen Live video on More Stable Universe to hear about our 2025 ambitions. Thanks for sharing your passion and feedback with us. So, pretty good. Generally speaking, I think there's a lot of good updates there. The full screen mode is nice, and the elevators are pretty nice. The Volt guy had a lot of fun. The realistic audio stuff was pretty interesting, and the quantum fuel stuff is just more kind of clarification of what's going on. I imagine a lot of this stuff's going to be dialed in, but a lot of this isn't really new things as much as it's stuff they've already talked about or stuff they already have, and they're sort of manipulating, kind of getting in there. Now, in terms of other big updates, this is an update from Wayne. Wayne CIG. Oop, that's not what I wanted. Hey everyone. We noticed some questions about the stealth capabilities of the Ghost Hornet Mark 1 and Mark 2 and its Ghost Center cap attachment. So we wanted to give you a quick update. The current situation now. Right now, the Hornet Ghost stealth performance, dramatically reduced signature, is purely tied to the Void Armor, which is backed into its variant chassis. What's planned? Our goal is to ultimately have a component like the Ghost Center cap attachment significantly modify a ship's signature. Once this tech is fully implemented, a big chunk of the Hornet Ghost stealth capabilities will come from the Ghost Center cap attachment itself. The Void Armor on the Ghost chassis will still provide some benefit, just not to the same extent as it does now. That means if you swap out the Ghost Center cap attachment for a different compatible center attachment, the Hornet Ghost will lose significant portion of its stealth capabilities. Conversely, if you install the Ghost Center cap attachment on a different Hornet variant, that ship will see a noticeable stealth boost. We can't share a timeline with these changes yet, but we'll keep you posted on these things as they progress, which is very cool. That's likely tied to the scanning updates, which they've been working on in the background for quite a while. So interesting that they're already having these plans out there. So it's clear that the features aren't being finished, as you could also see with the comms drive. They're still working on features. It's just probably not as priority as they used to be. The last one, which is important to see, is an update for 4.0.2. Quick update to avoid replying multiple times. We have updated a fix as of 4.0.2_9519347 that should address the performance loss when in atmosphere/gravity caused by expensive updates to the flight HUD. Should be in the next 4.0.2 PTU build. We have confirmed internally that this fix addressed the main culprit. You'll see a significant performance dip between first and third person in ships while in atmosphere, or if you see the significant first and third person while in atmosphere, please let us know. Here's a relevant IC report. Thanks. So we're getting some improvements in terms of performance as well. Now, is this perfect? Like we're getting fixed for all elevators are now fixed and the hangars no longer eat your ships? Obviously not. It's still being a ways away. But this is nice that they're kind of being more open about what's going on. I'm linking this in chat for those of you who want it, the actual comms drive. But there's the other thing that was mentioned. I don't have the quotes right here, but it was mentioned by Jared on Twitter that, responding to Zero State and to Space Tomato, that the way they're doing features now is that in the past they would focus on features first, bug fixes second, and then release that into the wild. And if the bug fixes didn't quite make it, they would be cut or pushed onto the next patch, like a sub patch. Now it's the opposite. It's fixes first, features second, and if features aren't done, then they get pushed to the next patch. So the fixes are the priority, while features are still getting help. They're not the main focus of the game. So that doesn't mean they're not doing features. It just means that they're not doing features immediately. So what does that mean overall for all of this? From what we've seen so far and from what they've talked about, it feels like what their focus is going to be this year is heavily on fixing content. And if the fixing content gets in the way of features, they're not going to bother with the features. The features are going to come in when they come in, and instead all of those sort of efforts are going to be into fixing those problems. Hopefully they continue with that. It's only the second month of the year, and there seems to be a lot more movement in that direction. But as always, I want to hear your thoughts down below. Do you think CIG is just doing smoke and mirrors? Are they blowing smoke up your ass with all of this talk and these updates? Or do you believe CIG is actually attempting to get to this, get down to brass tacks and fix the problems? Make sure you let me know in the comments down below. If you did enjoy this, make sure you hit that follow button, like the video for more content, and hit the bell icon to be notified when these release. Thank you for watching, and like I say every time, hope to see you someday in the black.